Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucco Brew, powered by the Fer Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. Jim, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, DiNardo.
How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. It's a good weekend.
It's good to hear.
I only watched one of the 3 Pirates games this weekend because I
That
had
explains
stuff
it.
going on. So yeah, it was more enjoyable than maybe some other people's weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you personally had a good weekend. I think I myself had a good weekend personally, right? Just in my life. Celebrated a friend's birthday yesterday. It was a great weekend as far as like the weather, all that good stuff. But if you had to sit through the Pittsburgh Pirates during Yinzer Palooza, you might have had a different experience because they played the White Sox, the worst team in the AL, comes into town for Yinzer Palooza. And you would think, well, this is a great setup. I know the Pirates are bad, but they're not historically White Sox bad. The White Sox came in and scored 27 runs on the Pittsburgh Pirates and swept them during Yinzer Palooza.
Just an absolutely pathetic performance this weekend, all around by everybody. I mean, nobody was good. It was just an all around bad weekend. And whenever you're doing it against a team like the White Sox, you're doing it in front of sold out crowds. It just magnifies it. They're 22 games under 500. It's July 21st. It's just not. It's not what anyone was hoping the season was going to be.
Not at all. Not at all. Especially, I assume, the manager of generality, the general manager. I don't know. But yes, yeah, it is pathetic. It truly is. And the team looks pathetic. And the thing is, like, after the All-Star break, you thought maybe this team just needed a break. I know we've said time and time again, and I do truly deep down believe it, that this team just simply is not this bad. It's not this bad. It can't be this bad. There has to be a better version of this team somewhere. And maybe we could see that version coming out of the All-Star break. Maybe just getting away from baseball for a few days could do it. And they look worse. They looked worse.
Well, they've been playing some pretty awful baseball this month. Just in general, it was terrible going into the break. It was, they won those 6 home games in a row where they just crushed their opponents. Then they go on the road, they lose 8 in a row. They win 1 game, so they go 1-8 on their road trip. And then they come back home, and you're like, okay, they took a break, coming back home. Team's playing pretty well at home. Like I expected them to win some games this weekend, and that wasn't the case. They just continued. They've now lost 11 of their last 12.
Mm-hmm.
39-61, DiNardo. That's 22 games under 500. I believe they were 14 or 15 games under 500 when Derek Shelton got fired. So even the Don Kelly, the Don Kelly honeymoon is pretty much over. Don Kelly's now 27-35, 8 games under 500. They just haven't gotten better.
Nope. Donnie Ball's over. It was fun while it lasted. And with that said, there's still things that you can appreciate with Don Kelly, which I do. But the ship hasn't been righted. The one thing with Don Kelly is, what can Don Kelly do to more or less ensure he's the manager of 2026. We know he is the manager. It's not interim. He is the manager, but he's the manager through 2025. So what happens? What does he have to do with this team? We kind of talked about like if he could be a 500 team, if he can be what they thought they were the rest of the way. Well, this ain't that either. So as much as we might appreciate Donnie Ball, as much as Don Kelly, the Shelton, and whatever, this team is still very, very bad. And so also, if one guy's getting fired early on in the season because of how bad this team is, and that was Derek Shelton. So that they have Don Kelly at the helm, and the team is still bad. What's that maybe tell you, Jim?
It means that there's
What?
still a problem. Back in May, someone was held accountable for the bad start. You got a new manager in. It still hasn't been fixed.
Nope.
So like we're to the point now where we are at the point where it's time to fire Ben Cherington. Like there's no more dancing around the topic. We've talked about this a few times throughout the season. We've talked about it over the offseason. And it was never really something that we felt was going to happen, but it was something that we thought, should happen. Like it's been pretty clear now for a while that this team doesn't really have a clear path towards success with the way things are being ran right now. But
100%.
It was one of those things where like, okay, Don Kelly's in now. Players are starting to get healthy. Reinforcements are starting to come in. The team that Ben Cherington actually wanted to compile this season is going to be coming together here soon, right? But now there's no more excuses. Like Nick Gonzalez is back here. He's healthy. Spencer Horwitz is here. This is the roster that you put together. Barring like the Jared Jones injury, these are the guys that Ben Cherington compiled to put on the field for 2025. And it's failing miserably. Alex Stumpf was on our show from MLB.com last year saying that, Ben was going to come back in 2025, barring something biblical happening.
Right.
Well, like this is being this much worse after last season is biblical. Like this team's terrible. They're the third worst team in baseball. They're the second worst team in the National League. The only two teams that are worse than them are putting together seasons that like people are just laughing at. And one of those two teams just swept you at home in front of 3 huge crowds.
Did you notice after the last loss, all the locusts that were coming in? I saw them. I think an event's happening. It's bad. And like you talk about, like there's no excuses. Like the Nick Gonzalez's are up and your Spencer Horwitz's are here and such. Like yeah, this is now the team. We said that like the downside of, and when I say downside because if you are on the side of Derek Shelton and Ben Cherington needed to go, with only Shelton going, the downside was, well, yeah, of course. Now the timing's real nice because Nick Gonzalez is going to get healthy. Spencer Horwitz is going to get healthy, right? Like the team that he assembled is going to be here during this time. They're going to naturally get better, and we're going to point to Don Kelly. And, well, the problem is Derek Shelton. Well, Nick Gonzalez is playing well. Kudos to Nick Gonzalez. You showed up. You want to play baseball this year. So nothing against him at all. Good job. But Spencer Horwitz, your big offseason acquisition. Hey, guys, we need offense. We need a first baseman. We have all kinds of depth at pitching. Let's use that depth to get a hitter. That hitter was Spencer Horwitz. We had our concerns. Spencer Horwitz on the season, 71 weighted runs created plus. Spencer Horwitz on the season, 225, 297, 318 slash line. Good for a negative 0.2 WAR. Hey, Jim, you know what, though? He was injured. He didn't have a spring training. He's ramping up, right? Give him a little slack. Okay, cool. June, hey, you know what? Maybe it's turning around. Fine. You know what? He was injured. He just needed some time. Not so much the case now, Jim. In the month of July, Spencer Horwitz is hitting 133, 220, 133. Good for a 3 weighted runs created plus. Good for negative 0.5 WAR in the month of July. Sadly, not even one of the worst on the team in July. He's sitting kind of right in the middle. That was your big acquisition. That was the trust in Ben moment.
Yeah. I mean, you said it there. He has a 3 weighted runs created plus in July. Brian Reynolds has a negative 5 weighted runs created plus in July. Brian Hayes has a 7 weighted runs created plus in July. These are guys who have all hit at the top of the lineup one way or the other this year.
Literally
in the month of
the
July,
top of the lineup, Spencer Horwitz.
In the month of July, these 3 guys are 3 of the 4 worst hitters in baseball. And these are your guys. You extended 2 of them. You traded a valuable asset for another, thinking that these are the people that you're going to win with. And I think, I mean, and on top of this, you look at the guys who, I mean, just look at this weekend, for example. Quinn Priester goes out there, shoves against the Dodgers. I mean, we haven't really talked about that at all on this show. But it's just all compounds, right? Like when things are going bad, and then you look and see, oh, hey, this starting pitcher who we gave up on because we couldn't tap into what he's got. We trade him to Boston for a guy who we were high on, but the guy hasn't been able to crack the roster on a team 22 games under 500. Nick York, he's not having that great of a season in AAA. He hasn't been able to make the team yet. They don't trust to even have him on this team right now. They're calling up Liover Peguero. They're calling up like that's what they're doing.
Mind you, Jim, this isn't the 2025 team that's just so good and in playoff contention as they thought they were that, well, hey, Nick York can't crack this team. It's the worst offense in baseball, and he can't crack that team.
Can't even make it. Can't even be on the team. You look across the dugout this series, and it's like one of the things that I don't really give Ben a pass because this is the Pirates' fault for creating this situation. But one of the things that this team is where it's difficult to do is bring in free agents. It's hard to bring in quality free agents to this team because people think you're losers. And the reason why they think you're losers is because you are losers. You've done nothing but lose. You took this job over and you were like, we're going to be the best losers possible so that we can get really high draft picks for a few years. So they've struggled to bring in quality players at during free agency because no one wants to be here. But guess what? No one wants to be in Chicago either. No one wants to play for the Chicago White Sox. And so, like, you look across the dugout. Mike Tauchman.
Yep.
$1.95 million contract. He's hitting 289, 383 OBP, 464 slugging. He's got a 139 weighted runs created plus. He would be far and away be the best hitter on the Pirates. Why aren't you going after
worth more than Adam Frazier?
Yeah, why aren't you going after that instead of Tommy Pham? All right, you paid up Tommy Pham twice this amount to be the worst hitter in baseball for 2 months. Then he did kind of figure it out, starting to click for him a little bit, but it's too little, too late. It's just oversight after oversight. Every single free agent he brings in just like immediately has their worst season ever. Michael A. Taylor is someone who we saw this weekend, right? Michael A. Taylor would be the team's, I don't know, third or fourth best hitter right now. This is a guy you brought in last year, and he's pretty consistently been, really good defender. And he's been below average offensively for his entire career. And we talked about this last year when we brought him in. Like, hey, if he can go out there and give you like 85 to 90 weighted runs created plus with gold glove caliber defense, like that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? He had his worst season ever offensively. 50 weighted runs created plus. He slugged 290, hit 193. This year, as soon as he leaves the Pirates, boom, back up to his career norms. Slugging 399. 90 weighted runs created plus. It's just that there's been a culture of losing established here. When people come in here, they expect to lose. And when you expect to lose, you fail. And every single player he brings in fails. And it's time to change that. It's time to change the culture. It's time to change the person in charge. Because this is not working.
For sure. So I'll tell you what. First things first, I want to go in on some other things here too. Tell you about the sponsor of the show. Fer Coffee and Tea is a family and employee owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh Historic District. Don't forget to stop by Fer's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. Of course, their Instagram is thefair.coffee as well. So go to thefair.coffee. Go get yourself something there, because you know what you get if you do that, Jim, for the first time. Tell them.
You get 30% off when you use promo code NS930.
There you go. So go on to thefair.coffee. Go get yourself, I get a subscription. It comes to me every single month as I'm drinking right now. And the stuff's good. And again, the reason I like the subscription also is it's kind of like a, hey, surprise me. I don't like to make decisions, so do it for me. I just tell them the type of coffee I like, whether it's light, dark, whatever, and they just keep giving me every single month a little surprise. So go ahead and do yourself a favor, 30% off, and it's $9.30.
There we go.
Okay, now with that sip. Yes. I don't like to harp on, I guess, like when you said about the Quinn Priester thing, like we don't talk enough about that. Things happen. Every team has that player, right? Every team's like, oh, that one got away. Look what happened. Quinn Priester's having a fantastic season, by the way. A fantastic season. Pirates have done pretty well in pitching. That was one day they couldn't figure out. I'm not going to harp so much on like, oh no, Quinn Priester got away. Look what happened. It's not like back in the day when you saw like Cole go and Glasnow go and Charlie Morton go, like all the pitchers go and turn into something. But what I will say to that is it's just another damning situation by Ben Cherington where he just absolutely gets crushed on the trade. It's not so much that like, look, they found a way to unlock Quinn Priester and they couldn't here. To be fair, they've unlocked quite a few people here. They've done pretty well with the pitching on this side. So like the Quinn Priester getting away, it happens. Sometimes other people are better. The one got away. It's the fact that you got Nick York in return. And honestly, fair trade. Like fair trade at the time, we thought it was pretty good. Nick York in Boston at the time, he was hitting 310, 408, 490 in AAA as a 22-year-old. In AAA in Boston, a 138 weighted runs created plus. I mean, he's a hitter. That was one thing we talked about. You know what? Everywhere he's gone, he has just flat out hit. That's what he can do. He can hit. This year in AAA as a 23-year-old, 268, 335, 394, a 95 weighted runs created plus. It's not that look what they've done to Quinn Priester. It's just that the fair return is now lopsided because now that Nick York's a Pirate, he's doing what everyone else does. Not playing well. That's the problem. If Nick York was on this roster, performing like I think a lot of us thought he could, again, a 138 weighted runs created plus in Boston's AAA season. He's here. He's playing well. Good for Quinn Priester. I wish that maybe would have turned around here. But hey, you know what? We got Nick York. We need offense. We have all this pitching depth. It is what it is. It helped out. It was a win-win. No. It was a win-loss so far. That's the problem. Like you said, every time, you said Talkman, like revisionist history, like that's the one, like, okay, now he's playing better. We should have got him. It's easy to say that now. And it's not that you're trying to say that. It's not like, you go all the free agents like, oh, well, they should have got that guy now, right? It's the fact that everyone that Ben signs has like his worst season. It's not the, hey, you should have got that one guy and change this around. It's the fact that why can't you ever get that guy? Or why can't anyone just come here and be what they are? Like, why does Michael A. Taylor come here and he's the worst version of himself? Why does Rowdy come here and he's the worst version of himself? And then they go elsewhere and, okay, Rowdy, you can debate. He's been DFA'd a few times, whatever. But like Michael A. Taylor, like he's back to just being Michael A. Taylor. That's all you needed him to be. And then, like, it wasn't like, hey, you need Michael A. Taylor to come here to be a 3-WAR player. You just need him to be a below average hitter and have a good glove. And he had a good glove. He was just the worst hitter in baseball, essentially. That's the problem. It's just time and time and time again, the plethora of decisions now in its entirety. Just where is the win? Where does Ben come out here and say, you know what, I won that trade?
The wins that he's had have been minor. He's had some wins, right? I mean, we've talked about him. Like Bailey Falter was a win.
Is that his biggest win?
Probably. I mean,
and yet credit to him. Yeah,
and
I hated that trade at the time, but it's worked out.
Yeah, but like Bailey Falter's a 5th starter
who might not be in the rotation next year.
Like when your biggest win is trading a journeyman utility infielder who's AAA depth for a 5th starter, it's just not enough, especially when you had so much when you took over. And I think that's just the issue. Like he messed up from the get-go. Like he got nothing essentially for Starling Marte, Joe Musgrove, Josh Bell, Jameson Taillon. He got nothing for those guys. He got David Bednar for those 4 guys. That's bad. It's a bad way to kick off a rebuild, and it just snowballed from there. But like to your point, yeah, I'm not out here saying like, oh, Ben Cherington should be fired because they didn't sign Mike Tauchman. Mm-hmm. But yeah, why can't they get one Mike Tauchman ever? Why can't they bring one guy in who performs? Why is it every single person who comes and plays for this team stinks? Brian De La Cruz last year at the deadline. Not anything special. None of us liked the move, but it was like, okay, this is a clear, on paper, this is a clear upgrade. No, he comes here and he becomes the worst. And that's what I'm talking. Like, we're not saying that they come here and they underperform. Ben Cherington brings what seems to be regular, normal guys in here, and they become the worst players in baseball. Time and time and time again. Brian De La Cruz, over the last 2 months of the season last year, was the worst player in baseball. Correct. Isaiah Kiner Flefa came in last year competing for a batting title, and he comes in and he stunk. He stunk the last 2 months. Now, I don't think they're using him correctly, but he stunk. Michael A. Taylor stunk. Edward Olivares last year, you bring him in because you're like, hey, I think we may have found a right-handed power bat in corner outfield. Stunk.
Mm-hmm.
They all stink. Everyone he brings in stinks. Spencer Horwitz, hey, we may have found our first baseman for the future. Stinks.
Yeah. And like, this is what kills me too. Like, go back to Brian De La Cruz. I hated the move. For multiple reasons. But also not the reason of he's going to be this bad this year. We're also talking in season, in the same year. Like it's one thing where Michael A. Taylor had a really good season in 2023, and then you're bringing him in 2024, a whole other season, a whole offseason goes by, a whole Michael A. Taylor stops playing baseball, picks baseball back up, and starts playing again a year later. We are talking within the same exact season. Brian De La Cruz had a 93 weighted runs created plus. Not good by any means, but also a 111, 96, 91 his previous years. Yeah, there's some regression. He's a below average hitter for the past few years, but he's at least a below average hitter. In that year, he was a 93 weighted runs created plus. In that year, in Miami, 245, 289, slugging 417. Good for a 93 weighted runs created plus. He comes to Pittsburgh, and immediately, within the same year, nothing changed except whose team uniform he's putting on. 200, 220, 294, a 37 weighted runs created plus. He had a 0 WAR in Miami, replacement level, but still 0 WAR in 105 games. In the 44 that he wore a Pirates jersey, a negative 1.1. The same year, Jim. He didn't walk away from the game and reset over a whole other offseason. He didn't have to go get wrist surgery. He didn't have to go see an optometrist. It's the same season. And he becomes the worst version he's ever seen of himself. That's what we're talking about. How does this happen time and time again? It's not even like who he's going to identify. It's not like, well, you should have got better players. It's no matter what he touches, it turns to ash.
Yep. Everything. It's all bad. And it compiles. We're now 6 years into him getting nothing on the trade market, him not lucking into one single quality free agent, from an offensive standpoint. It's enough. and like I said, it's in May, it was time for Derek Shelton to be held accountable. It's now time for Ben Cherington to be held accountable because now what you've got, and let's not transition here yet, but just to kind of continue, I just want to continue piling on how bad this has been. Yesterday, I put together, I just wanted to look and see, hey, what's the NL Central look like during Ben Cherington's tenure? And let me tell you, it's bad. It's pretty bad. Ben Cherington's Pittsburgh Pirates are 333 and 475. When you stack that up against the rest of the NL Central, he's been 119 games worse than the Milwaukee Brewers. He's not even close to the next team. This isn't even that great of a division to begin with. And he just hasn't even been able to be somewhat competitive in it. 333 and 475, 119 games back of the Brewers. He's 52 games back of the Reds for fourth place over his tenure. I mean, these are just astoundingly terrible numbers ever since he's came in. And yeah, I get it. He tried to lose his first few years, but he has not been trying to lose these last couple of years. He's been trying to win. This is what trying to win looks like.
Now, Jim, yeah, but that's just simply not fair. You're being unfair here. Ben Cherington, came into a very bad situation. Ben Cherington, had to clear house, start fresh. Those teams weren't doing that. Those teams were winning. It's not. This isn't fair to me. This isn't fair to me. Oh, wait. That's right, though. The Cubs and the Reds started the rebuild after. You're right. They were winning beforehand. You're right, Ben. You're right. You came in losing right away for your tenure. The Cubs and Reds and Brewers and Cardinals weren't. They decided to rebuild 2 years after you. And so I guess now if I look at the current standings, the Cubs are 59-40. The Reds are 52-48. And oh, yeah, that's right. You and your sixth season now starting to try to win are 39-61. They started rebuilding after you, you loser. After you. That was why we were so aggressive a few years beforehand. Like, let's actually accelerate this because you see a window here. Like, maybe try to start winning now. Like, maybe push the accelerator now because there is like this clear window. This division isn't that good. The Cubs, the Reds rebuilding, but you know what? They're going to come. They're going to come. They're going to get there. Maybe push on the accelerator. And now they're worse in year 6. And guess what? The Cubs are here. The Brewers are still here because the guy that the Pirates should have gotten, Matt Arnold, is able to make trades and continue winning. He's able to have a Corbin Burns on his last year and recoup value. He's able to say, hey, I have some limitations. Now, mind you, nutting is a huge problem. We understand that. With everything we say, there's a disclaimer of nutting. But it's not as if the Brewers are printing cash. When he signs a first baseman and has a bad year, did that cripple them? Well, that first baseman's also having a good year this year. But regardless, like, did that cripple them? They're still in first place. The Brewers are still in first place. They're still a good team time and time again. Now the Cubs are here. The Reds seem to have turned that corner now. The Cardinals won't go away. And you're still in last place. And not even just because this division is just so tight-knit. It's because you have a .390 winning percentage in year 6. You're not even close. You're not even in the conversation of the NL Central. They're all laughing at you.
I like using the Brewers as an example, and this is the one we did back in May too. But like this team, it's the complete opposite of the Pirates. When the Pirates bring someone in, they immediately become losers. When the Brewers bring somebody in, they all of a sudden become the best version of themselves. Like every time. It's wild to me to see how the Brewers are constructing their team because there's nothing different that the Brewers are doing from the Pirates. Like the Brewers are building their team in the same way that the Pirates are. It's just when they make their moves, they hit on them. They acquired William Contreras from Atlanta for seemingly nothing. Just as part of a three-team trade. 3-team trade, they immediately got their catcher of the future, their catcher of the present, and not only just a catcher, like a damn good one. They hit on the international market time and time and time and time again. They've got Jackson Chourio in year 2, having a hell of a season. They've got Jesus Made just like chilling in the minors, top 10 prospect. Like Luis Pena is also there. Like the Brewers are just like a small market machine. People, I remember back when, when Huntington was here, it was like, hey, we want to be the Rays. Like the Rays are kind of who we want to model ourselves after. Like, no, like I want to be the Brewers. Give me the Brewers. They're out there doing everything right. And if you've ever been to Milwaukee, like you can talk about the Pirates are limited by nutting and the small market that we have. Again, the Brewers aren't any different. The Brewers have a smaller metro than the Pirates. The Brewers have 2 major league teams an hour and a half down the road from them. Like this isn't some team with this large footprint and huge fan base. This is a team that's relatively new, right? Like if you're a Brewers fan, you don't have generations and generations of Brewers fans either. Like this is an expansion team from what, the 70s. So like this isn't a team that's like deeply rooted in Milwaukee history. they just continue to run circles around the Pirates and Ben Cherington. Like ever since 2020, when like the two organizations went in complete opposite directions, and they're not doing anything different. They're just hitting more. When they trade Corbin Burns, they get back Joey Ortiz. When they sign or when they trade for a free agent, or when they trade for a first baseman who's been cast off by his previous team, they come in and they just start raking. Like Andrew Vaughn was terrible for the White Sox. They gave up on him. He goes to Milwaukee. He's played, I mean, I know it's only 8 games, but Andrew Vaughn's hitting .391 and slugging .739 in 8 games in Milwaukee, because of course he is, right? They go out there and they sign their stars. They're keeping Christian Yelich around. And I don't care what you say, Christian Yelich is getting older. He's 33, but the dude can hit. 121 weighted runs created plus. Last year, 154. Year before that, 124. Like he's still a really good player. Caleb Durbin, they traded for him this offseason. 111 weighted runs created plus. Just a random 25-year-old rookie that the Yankees were just like, we don't have room for this guy anymore. Take him. These are just random guys that the Brewers are identifying, and they're like, we're going to make this guy good. Quinn Priester,
that's also
they identified him, and look what they've done with him too. So like, it's just the whole Brewers team. There's nothing here that's any different. Isaac Collins was a minor league Rule 5 pick. 27 years old. They took him from Colorado. 124 weighted runs created plus. He's got a 2 WAR season right now.
I wanted to go back
405. Like, I mean, this is it's just
like
the Brewers
like a start
are
to
good
finish thing. Willy Adames. Like they traded for Willy Adames. Do you know who they gave up for Willy Adames? JP Freieisen and Drew Rasmussen. I mean,
nothing.
Like, yeah. Like they didn't like just do absolutely nothing, but Brewers clearly won that trade. They identified that talent, and look what Adames did in Milwaukee. Also, they couldn't keep him. They couldn't, much like the Pirates. Did the Brewers fall off? They are currently tied for first place with the Cubs. So again, like in back-to-back years, they lost Corbin Burns and they lost Willy Adames. So not only are they identifying the talent we're talking about, but they're also losing talent. They're also staring right in the face of maybe this window's gone. And they're saying, you know what? No, we can keep going. And they're doing it. And again, with Ben, he can't even get going. He can't even hit 500. 6 years
can't
deep.
Even hit 100. Like, I mean,
he's getting this is overstated now. And I know I'm tired of hearing it also, but just to add emphasis to this, he landed Paul Skeens. He was gifted Paul Skeens. And he's 39 and 61. Like any other normal draft. Just say like just Dylan Cruz. Like if it's Dylan Cruz he got, it's still a good pick. That's a normal number 1 pick. Not a holy shit Steven Strasburg. Like not like this, oh my God, player that he's turned out to be. Like what if it was just Dylan Cruz? What if it was just a normal number 1 overall player? He still can't. It's pathetic.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And the timing right now is like, you have to make a decision. Do you do it now? Do you let this guy determine the future of your organization by letting him handle this trade deadline coming up? Do you dare allow him to trade Mitch Keller? Do you allow him to trade David Bednar? Do you allow him to trade Dennis Santana? Do you allow him to trade assets that are under team control for next year? I mean, that's the situation that we're in now, because from my vantage point, There's no possible way Ben Cherington can lead this team in 2026. You can't allow that to happen. I mean, you brought him back this year, and that was a questionable decision, and it's failed miserably. There's no salvaging this year. There's no last 2 months of baseball that's going to make us feel good about this season. It's not there. Like, it's not happening. We're going to end this season feeling terrible about what we just witnessed. You can't bring this guy back. And so if you're not going to bring this guy back, why let him handle this trade deadline? Because your options are, go ahead, Ben, trade deadline's yours, or you handcuff him and you say, you know what, Ben, we're going to evaluate you at the end of the year, but for this deadline right now, you aren't allowed to trade any controllable asset. You can trade the rentals, but you can't trade any of your controllable assets. And the problem with that is you're then just saying, hey, Ben, I'm not going to let you do your job. Right? I don't think the Pirates should trade Mitch Keller, but the situation may arise where like it may become the necessary thing to do. Like if someone wants to overpay for Mitch Keller, you've got to really consider it because there are a lot of holes on this team that need addressed. And if trading Mitch Keller can bring you some legitimate pieces back, again, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it can, you need to be able to operate with the freedom to make that decision. You can't give Ben Cherington the reins to make that decision right now, especially when you're leaning like this guy can't come back next year. So you're either, if you let him operate freely here, you almost have to keep him because it's like, all right. You keep making your bed, and then all that's going to do is we're going to be back in the same situation next year. If you limit him, what's the point of keeping him? Say, hey, Ben, you're still here as the general manager, but I'm not going to let you do your job. If that's the case, why keep him? What they need to do is they need to fire him today. They need to assign an interim GM, whoever that is. Limit that person. Say, okay, you go ahead, trade your rentals. You can still take offers on Keller if you want, and Hayes and Reynolds and all those guys. But this is going to be a pretty group decision if we're trading those guys, right? Like, we're not just handing the keys over to you. And then in the offseason, you bring in a permanent GM, and they make the decisions over the offseason as far as what to do with Brian Hayes and Mitch Keller and Brian Reynolds and guys like that. I don't trust Ben Cherington to do that. I don't want an interim GM doing that. But I don't want Ben Cherington limited in what he can do this trade deadline either. Like, you either let him do his job or you say you're no longer the GM. It's got to be one of those two options. You can't just half-ass this deadline. You've got to jump in with both feet on whichever side you want to pick. And the two sides are Ben Cherington's coming back and he's being retained, so I'm going to give him full operations of this baseball department. Or Ben Cherington's not the guy. I got to let him go. Those are your two choices. Don't half-ass this and say, Ben, you're still here, but I'm not going to let you do your job.
That's it. There's two choices. Don't make it three. And that's what I feel the problem is going to be. Like you're saying, I mean, your choices are you're committed to Ben or you're not. That's it. Because if I'm not sure about Ben, then you're not committed to Ben. If that is your general manager and you have doubts that he needs to be your general manager in the future, this deep into this isn't like, hey, year 1, year 2, and I'm not sure. Maybe let's see this through. It's been 6 years. We've seen it through. We're seeing it through. If right now you are having doubts, I don't trust Ben. But we're a week away from the trade deadline. What should I do? You know what? Maybe I'll keep him, but I'll just limit him. Like I can't allow big moves because I don't trust they'll happen. I just don't want to make the move today because I don't want to put the interim in this situation. Sorry. Sorry. If you're not allowing your general manager to be a general manager because you don't trust the general manager, he's not a general manager. He doesn't need to be the general manager. Pull off the Band-Aid now. Rip it. Fire him today. I know it's not an advantageous time. I know the trade deadline is coming up, but if you're not allowing him to really go full in with it, get him out of there. Allow your interim to not go fully with it. But at least you've moved on. You've made the decision. Now it's clear. Now you can start progressing to the future. Because what is the point? Like, what are you revisiting? If you're not going to allow him to make any major moves, and I think we all understand major moves need to happen in order for this thing to turn around. What changes come the offseason? Like, what are you revisiting then? What does Ben like? What does this team and Ben have to do to change your mind come the offseason opposed to today? Especially if you're not going to allow him to do what he needs to do to make that happen. He's not turning this organization around by trading Andrew Heaney. This ship's not getting righted because he traded Tommy Pham. The only possible way is Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, O'Neill Cruz, Mitch Keller. I'm not saying all those are going to, but I'm saying like that's how you have to make a major move. This team needs major help. A major move needs to happen. And if you're not going to allow them to do that, you're in the same situation. So whatever you're coming to revisit in the offseason isn't going to change. So you have to make it today. If you're not committed to your GM, you can't have him around. If you want to divorce your significant other, you got to divorce them. Don't hang around. That's terrible. You're just in a terrible relationship. What are you two doing? Rip the Band-Aid off, go your separate ways. That's what needs to happen here. Just get the divorce, Bob.
Yep. And again, like he needs fired today. Like he needs fired right now. You then you appoint an interim GM, pick somebody. I don't care. Make it a group effort if you want. But
there's enough of them.
Yeah. He cannot be allowed to continue. He cannot be given the reins to this trade deadline. I do not want Ben Cherington anywhere near a Mitch Keller trade right now. I don't want him making that decision because we've seen how that decision's gone time and time and time and time again. If Ben Cherington trades Mitch Keller, he's kind of proven that it's already not going to work out. He brought in a first baseman with chronic wrist issues for Luis Ortiz, who's the second worst hitter in baseball in the month of July and hitting, 30% below average. That was his big acquisition for his trade piece that he had over the offseason. He's now got a very coveted trade piece in Mitch Keller. I'm not letting him move him because the track record shows he's going to get nothing. I'm not even saying he's going to get like a bad play. Like he's going to get nothing in return just based off of his track record. So it's like he cannot be allowed to continue going forward from today.
This is slightly facetious. However, it's damning and potentially true. The guy he traded might not ever play baseball again. And he might still lose the trade. That's where we're at. That's what's happening. He might not ever play baseball again. We'll find out. And I hope, Luis, you were doing right. However, that's where we're at. The guy might not ever play baseball again. And Ben could still lose that trade. That's how awful this is.
Yeah. And keep in mind, there were two, E Grill Boy mentions here in the chat, there were two prospects added in there as well.
Correct. Yep. Can I show something real quick?
Yes.
I've been working on something. Haven't like really put it out there. But I think it's a good time to talk about it now. So it's no like real gymalytics here. It's probably going to be hard to kind of see, but I want to put it up here because I want to talk about it.
Oh,
because I love this spin.
All right.
I kind of like this bit here I have going on. You know why Bob should also really fire Ben Cherington? Because he costs Bob money. Like, he's so bad that Bob Nutting is like the good guy here. You're costing him money. That's how terrible you are. I've kind of compiled all the players as far as hitters go that Ben has acquired, either through draft, through trade, free agency. How much it's cost Bob Nutting to pay to get those guys and the production they've gotten. And I eliminated 2020 simply because like that's just a weird year. Honestly, that's not fair to give some benefit of the doubt because just a weird season, right? So from 2021, 2022, 2023, 24, and of course this year, 2025. Total money sent out. Again, all incoming guys through Ben. This is all Ben's people, no matter how they were acquired. And they had like 50 plate appearances or more. So also eliminating this, like the guy that came up for like 2 plate appearances, right? $84.9 million. Bob has had to pay in salaries for hitters during Ben's tenure. They produced a total of 7.8 WAR. 7.8 WAR. And mind you, a lot of ARB guys, a lot of pre-ARB guys. This isn't like, hey, WAR and free agency is like about $8 million per WAR. This is, hey, I made a trade and I have all these pre-ARB guys. His best year was 2023. When they went out and they got Austin Hedges, Carlos Santana, Kutch, right? Connor Joe was there, Palacios, Endy, Nick Gonzalez, Alika, Alfonso Rivas, Miguel Andujar, G-Man Choi, Mark Mathias, Jack Sawinski, Henry Davis. 7.8 WAR. I'm sorry, 6.5 WAR. That entire group amassed $21 million, right? That was his best year. Best year. Since then, last year in 2024, $22 million spent on Ben players that amassed 0.8 WAR. Grandal, Tellez, Nicky G, Michael A. Taylor, Brian De La Cruz, Kutch, Connor Joe, Joey Bart, Jack Sawinski, IKF, Olivares, Henry Davis, Alika Williams, Joshua Palacios. This year, Joey Bart, Emmanuel Valdez, Adam Frazier, IKF, Tommy Pham, Kutch, Endy, Jack, Henry, Nicky G. $22 million. That'll probably go down at the trade deadline. So probably going to be roughly about $18 million at the end of the year. So far this year, 1 WAR. 1 WAR in total for Ben's guys. 2021, 0.4 WAR, $3.1 million spent. 2022, negative 0.1 WAR, $16.3 million spent. Through Ben's tenure, omitting 2020 to give him the benefit of the doubt, he has cost Bob $84.9 million on hitters and has only given Bob 7.8 wins.
It's even worse than that because you don't even have Horwitz on for this year. And that's another negative 0.2 WAR.
You know what? You are correct. I didn't put on Horwitz this year because he wasn't, when I actually started producing this, he wasn't in there. So
yeah.
I guess,
so Ben Cherington's offensive players this season have provided 0.8 WAR.
That's true. Yep. And you can add on to that total by a few $100,000 then.
Yeah. About $23 million spent on offensive players this season. 0.8 WAR. Just to give you an idea of what 0.8 WAR is, if you multiplied that by 2.5, you'd get the same as Milwaukee Brewer minor league Rule 5 draft player Isaac Collins.
Boom.
Like, this is it right here. Like, these are the guys that Ben Cherington has brought in to say, hey, I'm going to have you play offense. it's not a ton of money, right? I mean, let's be real. Like $22 million on offensive players that you've brought in the 6th year of your GM tenure is not a lot. A lot of these guys are on league minimum contracts, though. But you're getting nothing out of that. You're taking $22 million and you're lighting it on fire with replacement level players.
Ben Cherington's best hitter to date, his best hitter he's brought in as far as total WAR, Jack Sawinski.
Yeah.
Second best, Nick Gonzalez. Third, tied, Kutch Connor Joe. Jack can't stay in the major leagues. Andrew McCutchen's 38 years old, and Connor Joe's already been DFA'd. There's your top 4 hitters brought in by Ben Cherington. Jack is the best hitter he's acquired as far as the WAR provided.
That's almost unbelievable that Jack Sawinski's the best offensive player that Ben Cherington has acquired. It's almost literally like my brain almost can't even comprehend that.
Well, allow me to let you comprehend that. Take a moment. It's Jack Sawinski.
Yeah.
Now Nicky G. And kudos. Like, that's not so much of a slight. Nick's been doing his job. He's turned out to be a fine player so far. Hopefully better. And hopefully, this really turns out. Number 3, Kutch, who had to beg to come here. And Connor Joe. If you want to argue that Bailey Falter's the best trade, I think Connor Joe's the second best trade in his tenure. We're talking about a platoon guy who's been DFA'd as his possible second best acquisition. I guess technically not DFA'd. I guess technically just not.
Non-tendered.
Non-tendered, yeah. But regardless, that's where we're at. Hang your hat. Tell Bob, I deserve to be here because I gave you Connor Joe. And that's why I need year 7.
I think we laid out enough there. We're 57 minutes in. We just spent 50 of it just hammering why this guy needs to go. We could probably continue.
Do we have to stop?
Yeah. I need to get to work.
I need this.
it's when you just lay out the whole thing, it's remarkable. You lay out the record, you lay out the players he's brought in, you lay out the misses. It's just too much. It's too many failures. It's too many people giving you the absolute worst version of themselves. It's too many people leaving and becoming the best version of themselves. Like, this is the reason why Neil Huntington got fired, was people leaving and becoming a better version of themselves. Well, like, that hasn't stopped. And from an offensive player standpoint, there hasn't been anybody like that because he hasn't been able to identify any sort of offensive talent. So when they leave, they still stink. But again, they just always seem to be the worst version of themselves while they're here. And you just can't allow that to continue any longer. And you definitely can't hand him the keys to this trade deadline and do something that risks you following even farther behind. Because if you trade Mitch Keller and you miss, it's over. I mean, you might as well say it's time for another rebuild.
We're getting there.
We're dangerously close to that point. I don't think we're there yet. Like, I think a competent GM can still come in here and plug enough holes with enough guys to make this team competitive. I don't think we're to the point yet of another rebuild, but we're not that far off. Right. And the longer you let this snowball, the closer that point comes.
And to your point, I think a lot of that hinges on if you trade Mitch Keller. If you trade Mitch Keller, and it's a good move, you're closer to what you say. If you trade Mitch Keller and it's what we kind of see, you're closer to another rebuild. That's why it's so important. Because like you said, if you miss on Mitch Keller, where is this team? Because now you've lost the pitching depth and you still don't have hitters. Then it has to go. And now without a Mitch Keller asset, does the new GM say it's time for a new rebuild? Many decisions come from that. But again, it could be hard to argue. And also could be hard to get a new GM by not allowing that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, he has to go. He has to go. This is just unacceptable. If they were so accountable together, him and Derek Shelton, then you know what? You should be accountable together. Didn't allow you to be before, but you know what? Let me allow you that opportunity now, Ben. You said you're accountable together. Let's make it happen. You know what? You're right. You're right, Ben. Let's make you accountable together. Just off a little bit, but send Derek my blessings.
Yep. You want to talk about this Tiger series?
No. They're getting swept.
Well,
the Tigers are good. They're one of the best teams in baseball. Actually, are they literally the best team or are they? I think they are right now. The Brewers swept the Dodgers.
The Detroit Tigers are 60-40. They're the only team in baseball with a .600 winning percentage. They did lose 6 in a row, but they won yesterday. The Pirates missed Scooble, which is nice. Tonight, probably the most exciting matchup of the series. Jack Flaherty, Paul Skeens. So that should be a fun one. Two pretty. I mean, you got Skeens, who I think is the best pitcher in baseball, and Jack Flaherty is having himself a nice season for Detroit. ERA is high, but the FIP and everything looks pretty good. He's throwing a lot of innings, striking out a lot of people. And the Tigers are hot. As I said, they lost those 6 games in a row. They won yesterday, but they're the best team in the American League, and they again, another team that you look at where the rebuild seems to be working now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those guys that they drafted, they've come up, they've started performing, they've added some complementary pieces via free agency, they're playing really well. So yeah, Skeens tonight, Keller versus Mize on Tuesday. Casey Mize, another guy who was a first overall pick, I think in 2018. I want to say, yeah, 2018. Finally healthy. He's putting together a good season. Yeah, I mean, then Reese Olson and Bailey Falter on Wednesday. If you're looking for the Pirates to kind of get back on track, it's this isn't the best team to be facing. As I said, they're the best team in the American League. If this downward spiral continues, I mean, at this point, there's nowhere else to go. They've already secured the top odds in the MLB draft lottery as well if the season ended today. So you just keep losing, I guess, and it's going to just be a little bit of the same.
Yeah.
It's hard to get up for a series like this, though, after what we've just witnessed.
It's still Paul Skeens pitching today, Mitch Keller pitching tomorrow. And I just say this with caution, like it could be the last time Mitch Keller's in a Pirates uniform. It's in the realm of possibility. So there is that. I mean, anytime Paul Skeens is pitching, it's showtime, right? And again, this could be potentially the last time Mitch Keller wears a Pirates uniform. It's good pitching matchups. Like you said, you enjoy them. You want to see it. But damn, I mean, this team is just, it looks awful. It smells awful. It's awful. I'm not taking anything away from the series. I'm not here to say, let's write the track. I'm not here like, this team's bad. Let's see what happens the rest of the year. Let's follow this team second half as we seem to always do. It is what it is. But I don't know, man. Ben just has to go. That'll make my day better.
He's got to go. And it has to happen today.
Has to happen yesterday. But today's also a good day.
Yeah. Yesterday would have been the best day. Today, the best day.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, Jim. You want to go to work?
I didn't say I want to go to work. I said I have to go to work.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference between you and Ben. Ben wants to. He wants to, I'm sure, but
yeah.
Hopefully he's not allowed. All right, that was mean. I'm sorry. That was kind of mean, but regardless, it's time. Let's get out of here. For everyone that's watching, for all of our supporters, we, of course, we love you. We love you. We appreciate you. So we'll see you guys later. We'll be back for a post-game show tonight. All week, of course, we'll have our NS9 live on Thursday. And hey, actually something here. I don't think we really announced it or talked about it, but Doug, Ryan, I think Neil potentially as well is going to be in Cooperstown this weekend also. So we have plenty of content for that also. I mean, Doug is going to be in the wild. That's all.
Doug out in the wild with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. His idol, Dave Parker. It's gonna be a fun weekend. I'm excited for them.
I am. I'm so excited for Doug. I'm excited to see the content we're gonna get from Doug. Doug in the wild in Cooperstown is gonna be great. But yeah, we'll have plenty of content for this weekend and upcoming afterwards as well from Cooperstown. So cool stuff. But yeah, so we'll see you guys later. We love you all. Like, subscribe, follow, do all the fun stuff. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.